Welcome to the Empower Team podcast. I'm your host, Kari Schneider, and I don't know that I will air this episode. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. I typically do a lot of prep for every episode. I do some research. I check into the definition of the topic. I look for stories I've experienced with clients or myself. And then I move forward and I bring something to you that I think can help you with life, with business, with navigating relationships, with the things that are involved with living your best life and true self-mastery. Because I believe that mastering ourselves is the ticket to the life that we want, whether it is accomplishing things in business, whether it is having the closeness and connection with relationships, whether it's adventuring and experiencing life in a way that feels extremely abundant and fulfilling. Because ultimately, life is not just business, life is not just the relationships, life is just not your own health or fitness. It's the combination of all of the things. So today I am bringing the topic of abundance, and today I am going to define it in a way that I am experiencing it right now, live time, and in a way that I'm struggling with it really hard, because it's one thing to bring you things that I've experienced or my clients have experienced, and you see the other side of it, and you see the great outcome, or the failure and then the learning, which is a great outcome to get that lesson. You can see all of that in hindsight, and hindsight is typically 2020. There's so much more clarity. There's so much more reflection and certainty from understanding what really happened. Whereas when you are in the moment and you're trying to create something for the future and there's a lot of unknown, that's what creates the uncertainty. That's what creates the scarcity. And that's what causes us to question our ability to accomplish the thing that we want to have happen. And the self-doubt creeps in, and the ineffective questions, the ones that really bring us down, and that's what creeps in. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. I'm experiencing that in a way that is shaking me to my core. And so I am practicing what I preach. I am deciding to do the hard thing live time. Well, it's not live time. If I record this, you'll see it about 2 weeks later. But for me, it's live time of what I'm experiencing right now. I am in a really challenging situation that requires me to move when I don't want to move from my home. Requires me to pack and buy a house and go to a place that isn't what I would have preferred. And I'm finding very challenging right now. So in the midst of this, I'm looking for abundance. I'm looking for optimism. I'm looking for positivity. I'm looking for confidence. So today's topic is on abundance. And the question becomes, what does it look like to experience and feel abundant when you feel like you are rocked, when you feel like the rug is pulled out from under you? I am going through a divorce that I didn't anticipate would happen. And the reason I didn't anticipate it, I knew it was a possibility, but I didn't anticipate it because I was so fully in committing to doing everything I could for the marriage that I refused to start to make the plans for divorce. I simply kept believing in what was possible, and yet had staked my line in the sand. I'd drawn the line in the sand to say, I will not tolerate these things any further. So I knew what I wouldn't accept in the marriage, but I didn't think that that there wouldn't be major reparations in order to keep the marriage intact. So now I'm in a situation that I didn't want, that I have to deal with and accept reality. And instead of progressing in the way I love to with my business, with my finances, with my home, I feel like I'm going backwards. So what does it look like to still stay in a space of abundance when everything feels so hard and so scarce? And that's what I'm in the midst of right now. That question, I don't fully know how to answer. So I'm going to go with what I do know. And I'm speaking to myself as much as I'm sharing this with others. So this is for the person who has had things not go the way you want them to go. This is for the person who feels like there's so much uncertainty, you don't know what to do. This is for the person who thought things were going to go one way and they ended up going another. This is for the person who anticipated certain things and was excited for certain things, and then they didn't happen. And you're looking to stay in a space of abundance instead of go into a space of survival or scarcity. And I can definitely say that I've been in a space of survival because I've been single momming it. I've been running my business at the same time, packing a household, and then just learned that the financing I thought was secured for our home is not secured. And what that means to me is that I am scrambling and doing everything that I can to find money that I don't have right now in order to see this house deal go through and not have to start over, potentially get sued by the sellers to try and find a house in my daughter's school zone so she doesn't have to be completely disrupted from her school and her friends. Besides the disruption in her life, her home life, and her family life. So it's a very hard situation for me right now. And I'm feeling abundant in the fact that I can say it without completely bawling in this moment because I've shed so many tears, even today. So here's where abundance is at. Abundance, for those who are in business and love the science and strategy like I do, you see the word abundance or you hear it, you see it on paper, you hear it from other people, and it sounds like this woo-woo thing. Like, what am I supposed to emphasize with abundance? What does that mean? That means nothing. What is it on paper? What is it in the real world? What is it in actions? What is abundance? And I had to define that for myself so that I can create it for myself. Because it's easy right now for me to lean on scarcity, like, how can I? This isn't working. This is awful. We feel screwed right now. There are so many thoughts. There are so many questions that lean towards survival and lean towards scarcity. And if you are in a business and you are in a family and you are in a situation where it's hard, the survival and the scarcity thinking don't get you very far. They might hold you from completely falling apart, like, oh, okay, I just got to do this, or maybe keep you in a space of, if you get angry or you get really scarce, it focuses your emotions or focuses your thoughts so that you don't feel like you're spiraling. But it doesn't take you anywhere. Being in the survival, being in the scarcity, the how is this happening? I don't know what to do. I need help. And I don't know how to find help. I'm screwed. That's a thought that I've had a few times. Those things hold the zone, hold the space, hold a place of lack, a place of not moving, a place of stuck. And what we want is abundance, because abundance feels so different. And this is what I had to understand in order to be able to create the feeling of abundance and the feeling of thriving instead of surviving. And it came up in a meditation. I had a meditation that asked, what does abundance feel like in your body? And the first few times I heard that meditation, I was like, yeah, I feel warm. Don't know. Body's telling me that my toes are cold. Body's telling me that I'm a little hungry. A feeling of abundance in my body made me want to say F you. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then one day I did that meditation and I sunk into it and I thought about abundance and what it meant to me in my life and what it truly was to me. And it was financial security. It was business success, because that means that I'm serving more people. It was deep and amazing loving connection with my family. It was adventure in the world. It was giving and generosity. And like suddenly I was just flooded with what abundance meant in my life. And it can bring me to tears just thinking about it right now. So suddenly I was able to define abundance. And yet, in this moment now, I realized, oh my gosh, but I don't have any of those things. So the question then became, what does it feel like? What does all of that feel like? The deep connected love with my friends and family, the success in my business, the financial security, the adventuring the world. What does that actually feel like in my body as an emotional state? Because even if I do or don't have those things, which any one of those things, if I look at the success in my business, if I thought about success in my business 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and I look at what I have now, I would have been like, wow, great job, girl, you go. And if I thought about the deep relationships that I have in my life, I'd be like, wow, that is where it's at. And the places I've been, the adventures. So I've really accomplished those definitions. I just feel like I don't have it right now. I just feel like it's not available in my space right now because of the circumstances that I didn't expect. There's circumstances that came my way that were off my radar that I didn't think would happen. And so the uncertainty of it, the unknowing of it, the not knowing how or if it will work out the way that I hope, it's that space that is so tough to be in. And I bet you've been there and I bet you know what that's like. It's hard. So if I feel or I notice in the moment that I don't have financial security, or I don't have certainty of my home, or I don't have the relationship, the spousal relationship that I thought I would have. So certain things that I had felt like they're stripped away. And that leaves the feeling of scarcity. That leaves the feeling of uncertainty. But the reality is no one can take from me the worth that I've built financially, the worth that I've built in myself, the relationships that I've built, the places that I've adventured and traveled to. No one can take that away. They've already happened. I have that. That is part of my existence. That's part of me. So when I remember that and I look at all those experiences, then I go, what were the feelings that had me in abundance, in that zone of abundance, in that understanding of abundance? What were those emotional feelings? And I can identify them succinctly, exactly, with clarity. And the first one is a feeling of confidence. Confidence. Whenever I felt abundant in all those things that I wanted to have, let's say it was an adventure, let's say if it was a bank account with money in it, at any of those times, I felt confident. Like, oh, yeah, that. I'm traveling. I'm experiencing things in the world. I have amazing relationships. I feel confident in those things. The next emotional feeling that I have in the space of abundance is connection. For me, connection, love and connection with other human beings is my number one value. Number one value. And when I feel connection, and it's so easy for me to tap into, I feel connection with nature. I feel connection with my animals. I feel connection with my children. I feel connection with my friends, my clients. I have so many people that I feel such deep, deep, loving connection that it is part of my being, part of my soul. It is there all the time, as long as I choose to tap into it, as long as I choose to feel it. So now we have confidence, we have connection. And I dug a little deeper. What else? What else is in there? Because if I just look at confidence and I just look at connection, that's not fully abundance to me. And then I realized it was this feeling of freedom. When I'm in abundance, I feel free. I feel like anything is possible. I feel like nothing can stop me. I feel absolutely free. Freedom is within my feeling of abundance. And there was one more thing. It's the feeling of fulfillment. And fulfillment for me comes from giving. It comes from generosity. It comes from building something. It comes from working hard to see something through, even though it might not be possible. The feeling of fulfillment is the maintenance of relationships. It's the building of the business. It's the serving other people. It's the working hard when no one's watching. That's the feeling of fulfillment. And so for me, in order to create abundance around me, even in a space where it feels like it is stripped away or taken from me, it's those four emotions. It's those four emotions. To go for an emotional state of confidence, of connection, of freedom, of fulfillment. And that's the key right there. That's the ticket. It's the ticket to grab into those emotional states to create a space of abundance. No matter whether someone has told you you're going to go bankrupt, whether someone has taken away something that you love so dearly, whether something happened that you didn't expect and you don't know what the heck the outcome is going to be. Tap into what you know you can generate. So I look at that and I go, well, how do I generate that right now? Holy shit. Well, if I want to generate the feeling of confidence, I look at some of the things that I've done. I remember who the fuck I am. That generates confidence for me. I've built things from nothing. I've created things that didn't exist. I have helped humans who didn't know how to get out of the situation they were in. And I've done it over and over and over again. And when I remind myself of that, I feel confident. And when I look for the feeling of connection, I don't have to go far. I could call my dog in here right now and feel connection. I could call any number of friends or family members and in a moment feel connection because they know that I care about them. And that generates the connection immediately. If I want to feel free, all I have to do is remind myself of the places I've been in the world and the incredible luxury I have to have been born in the country that I've been born in, to have some of the privileges that I've either earned or been gifted in the day and age I happen to live in, and I feel freaking free. And if I want to remind myself of fulfillment, I can just think of how many times I've given out of a pure heart. How many times that I've worked really hard to create something that didn't exist. And I feel the payoff, the amazing abundance of filling my cup, of doing or being something that impacted others in a positive way. And I feel so freaking fulfilled. So just by going through reminding myself of those thoughts, reminding myself of those experiences, I can generate, just like that, confidence, connection, freedom, and fulfillment. And to me, maybe not to you, but to me, that is the most abundant experience I can possibly create. And it is the work and it is the thing that I need to do in a moment when I feel like I'm in survival or scarcity or stuck. And I really, really have felt that way lately. So I'm sharing this with you of my live experience because I don't know in 9 days' time, if I'm going to have the money that I need to take possession of a house that I need to move into. So by the time this airs, I believe that that will have been solved and taken care of. And this is how I'm getting myself through it in a space and a way of thinking of abundance, because here's the final message. I can probably get through this exact same experience in survival mode and in a lot of scarcity thoughts and in a lot of hard ways of thinking and doing. But I promise you this, the experience is a whole lot better from a space of abundance. And that's why I've just walked you through how I'm creating it for myself when it feels freaking impossible. And if I can do it, so can you. There are better ways than just surviving, than just getting by, than feeling shitty while you're doing it. We can feel amazing at the same time. It sounds weird. It's a dichotomy, duality. You can feel amazing at the same time when something shitty is going on. That's the message for today. Have a great rest of your day.